Alright, hi everybody. I'm reading chapter 7 of Horrorstör today. Seems to be a kitchen setup called One Weird. And the article for that says, "The heart of the home is your kitchen, where good cooking, good smells, good food, and good friends flow. One Weird provides a contemporary look that empowers you to create your next work of art, whether it's breakfast for 2 or dinner for 12. And then the story begins. They found Basil and the others in bedrooms, hiding behind a Drazel chest of drawers. "Shh," Matt hissed, waving them over. "The guys in there." He jabbed a finger toward the double doors leading to the back of house. Amy obediently ducked behind the Drazel. "What did he look like?" she whispered. "We didn't actually see him," Basil said, "but Trinity saw someone moving and then we all saw the door swinging. We're going to lure him out, then we'll nab him in a pincer movement." "What's a pincer movement?" Amy asked. "Oh, for Pete's sake," Ruth Ann said. She marched up to the double doors and pushed them wide open. "There's nobody here. He's probably still in dining rooms, hiding under some shelves, the poor thing." "That was extremely dangerous," Basil said. "You could have been attacked." Ruth Ann shook her head. "Anyone hiding in this store is probably in a heap of trouble. My guess is that this fella needs some serious help." "She's got a point," Amy said. "I don't want to be here. Why would this guy?" Basil ignored her. "Let's go to dining rooms." "Hang on," Matt said. He opened a Tazi wardrobe and removed one of his gear bags. He unzipped the top, reached inside, and pulled out a black mag light. It was about 2 feet long and resembled a cross between a flashlight and a riot baton. It looked like it could put a serious crease in a skull. "You are not going to use that on a human being," Basil said. "That depends," Matt said. "This guy nearly attacked Trinity." "I've been trained in retail crisis management," Basil said. "Let me handle this." Matt marched off toward dining rooms without answering him. "You can't beat up a ghost," Trinity called, going after him, the others following in their wake. You do realize that you're not in control of the situation anymore," Amy said to Basil. "I am 100% in control of this situation," Basil said, hurrying to keep up. They began the long trip along the bright and shining path to dining rooms. They passed enormous pronk mirrors leaning against the walls and showing cold, silver versions of themselves trapped in glass. They walked past rows of armchairs waiting for visitors who would never come, past stripped shelves, bare tables, empty beds, doors to nowhere. "Something smells," Ruth Ann said. "Something nasty," Trinity added. The sour and marshy stench of rotten mud crept across the showroom floor like a low-lying fog. The closer they got to dining rooms, the worse it got, crawling up their nostrils and creeping down their throats. It was the same smell in the bathroom, the same smell emanating from the brook earlier that morning. It made Amy's skin feel slimy. "Stay close," Matt told Trinity, but she pulled away from him, still angry. Finally, they arrived at the dining room display they'd seen on the security camera. They stopped on the edge of the bright and shining path, feeling as if they had just stepped onto a television set and were now being watched by an invisible audience of millions. The chairs from the Franck collection were tipped on their sides, and a plastic EMF reader sat in the center of the massive Franck table. Amy's heart was pounding. "Spirits, can you hear me?" Trinity called. "Shh," Matt snapped. "Don't call attention to yourself." "Don't tell me what to do," Trinity snapped back. She was aiming her camera into every corner, trying to get another look at her ghost. "Spirits, reveal yourself." "I just don't believe this," Ruth Ann said. "I'm a bigger fraidy cat than all of you, but this is ridiculous." She got down on her knees and peered underneath the carrying storage unit. "Nothing again. He's gone." Amy felt doubly relieved. Maybe now they would go back to the break room. Even better, maybe they'd call it a night and go home. But then she glanced across the bright and shining path, and she saw it. On the other side of the walkway, opposite dining rooms, was a purple Sylvian bedroom display. Everything in the room was meticulously arranged. Not a single detail was out of place, except the ruffled white bedskirt around the box spring. Underneath it, protruding from the shadows, rested a hairy human hand with a gold wedding band on one finger. Amy nudged Basil. He followed her jabbing finger, and his eyes went cartoon character wide. Their terrified focus alerted Matt, and he turned around, followed both their gazes, and took an involuntary half-step backward when he saw the hand. He tried to pull Trinity back, but she squirmed out of his grip. Ruth Ann retreated on tiptoes to the opposite side of the bright and shining path. We see you," Basil announced, too loudly. Nothing happened. "Under the bed," he continued, "with the wedding ring, hairy hands. We see you, hairy hands, and we have you surrounded." The hand didn't move, didn't even twitch. Amy had the sinking feeling that they'd found a dead body. Someone had died in bedrooms, and there was no way they could leave a dead body for morning shift. Basil would insist on removing it before the consultant team arrived. This night was never going to end. "Look, we've called the police," Basil tried again. "You can come out now or the cops will drag you out. Do you want to be pepper sprayed and tasered?" All at once, Ruth Ann strode past him, approached the bed, and raised one end, revealing a man splayed out face down like a starfish. He burst into motion, scuttling away like a bug after its rock has been lifted. Stumbling to his feet, he immediately whacked his head on the edge of the raised bed frame. He had too much momentum to stop, but the collision knocked him off balance. He wove his way across the bright and shining path, caught a splue glove seat at mid-thigh, and went flying over it, head over heels. "You better run," Matt shouted. "No, do not run," Basil yelled. "Stop." The man pushed himself off the floor and limped into an ocean of desks, heading for the shortcut in storage solutions. "I said stop," Basil called again. "The doors are locked. We've got you on tape." The man dropped his hands to his sides. His shoulders slumped as if he'd been unplugged. Then he turned around. He was balding with a 5 o'clock shadow that looked like a purple sandpaper. "You got me," he said in a whiny, nasal voice. "I'm gotten, okay?" His blue polo shirt stretched over his belly. There were dried white stains in the armpits. His khakis looked shiny at the knees. One of his sneakers had duct tape wrapped around the toes. "Stay there," Basil said. "Don't move." "I'm not moving," the man said. "Why'd you jump my girlfriend?" Matt snapped. "I jumped her? No way, man. I bumped into her and got scared out of my socks. I tried to get away. If anything, she jumped me. I would never raise my hand against a woman. I'm a committed pacifist. I don't know what she told you guys." "He didn't jump me," Trinity said. "He tried to communicate with me." She raced up to the man, pointing her camera at his face. "How long have you been dead?" "He's not a fucking ghost," Matt snapped in frustration. "He's just homeless. He's a bum. Don't get too close." "You don't have to call me names," the guy said, looking genuinely crestfallen. Then he turned to Trinity. "But your boyfriend's right, sweetheart. I'm no ghost." "He's not my boyfriend," Trinity said. "And I know you aren't a ghost. Ghosts don't hide under beds." Then she sat down on a scoproloid chair and began to cry. "Oh, honey," Ruth Ann said, rushing to her. "I'm fine," Trinity said with a sob. "Really, I'm fine." "Who are you?" Basil demanded. "You can't be in here." "I'm Carl," the man said. "Carl who?" "I would prefer not to say." "Do you have any ID?" "Are you busting me?" Carl asked. "I'm not busting you," Basil said, making air quotes around the word busting. "But I am responsible for the store. How do you get inside?" "Same way I do every night," Carl said. "I hang out in the cafe until closing, then I go to the bathroom around 9:30 and sit in the stall and pull my feet up on the commode whenever the door opens. Your security guys do a terrible job, by the way. You should find a new company." Trinity was still sobbing as though she might never stop, and Ruth Ann was gently rubbing her back. Matt stood off to one side, looking awkward. Basil turned to Amy. "This is the guy you saw?" "I was pretty far away," she said, "but I think so." "Oh!" Carl exclaimed as if Amy had just cleared up something that was bothering him. "You're the gal from this morning. I hope I didn't scare you. I thought for sure you would call security." "Did you vandalize a Brooka?" Basil asked. "A what?" "A Brooka sofa. When we opened the store this morning, one of the sofas was soiled with a substance." "Poop," Amy added. Carl blushed. "Look," he said to Basil, "can I talk to you privately, man to man?" Basil made an "I got this" gesture to his team. "Stay here. I'll be right back," he said, and then he took Carl by the arm and steered him a few steps down the bright and shining path. "Here's the thing," Carl explained. "I haven't been well lately. I don't totally know what happened last night." "You on drugs?" Carl looked distressed. "I get these headaches. I got epilepsy, did I tell you that? Sometimes I black out, and when I wake up I got dirt on me or glass in my hair. Look at my hands." He held them out. His fingernails were black. "They were clean when I went to bed last night." "You don't remember anything?" Basil asked. "I had pills, but I can't get my prescription filled no more." "How long have you been sneaking in here?" "Please don't get angry. It's just a place for me to sleep and use the John. I've never stolen a thing." "But you're breaking stuff," Basil said. "Mirrors, curtains, glassware." "No, never, I swear," Carl insisted. "I've treated this place like I would treat my own home. That's your motto, isn't it? A home for the everyone? This is my home." "No, this is a place of business." "I got nowhere else to go," Carl said. "I tried hiding out in Lowe's and IKEA, but they've got much better security. Can't you guys show a little sympathy?" He directed this last comment over Basil's shoulder to Amy, Ruth Ann, Matt, and Trinity, who were all standing right behind Basil. "My wife's got my little girl," Carl continued, "and I can't visit with her until I've got some kind of place to live that's not a shelter bed. So I took the bus out here to fill out a job application, and I was walking around thinking, this place is way better than the shelter, you know? And so I sort of stuck around. You got great prices in the cafe." "You're a victim of the economy," Basil said, offering something. "You can say that again," Carl agreed. Amy saw Basil get a shifty, thoughtful look, and she knew he had found his teachable moment. After spending most of the night trying to establish his authority, he was finally going to close the deal. "I'm afraid this isn't my decision to make," Basil said. "Here at Orsk, we're a team, and as a team, we make our decisions together. That's called Orsk-mindedness." "It is?" Amy asked. Basil went on. Either we can let Carl walk out of here or we can call the police, but we will all vote and make the decision together. No police, Carl said. Please. I'll vote first, Basil said, and I vote police. Me too, Matt said. He could have hurt Trinity. I didn't hurt anyone, Carl protested. Look, take me downstairs, snap a photo of me, and post it on your wall of shoplifters so I can't ever come back here again. Then kick me out the front door like a dog. It's punishment enough to have to get back to Cleveland in the middle of the night. The shelters won't be open, but I'll go right now, and I won't ever come back. Please, guys, I can't afford to get arrested. It'll just be more ammunition for my wife to take to the judge. You know, it's a war on fathers out there. I vote to let him go, Ruth Ann said. The poor man has had enough hardship in his life. Thank you, ma'am, Carl said, sticking out his hand. Pleased to meet you. Thank you. Yeah, Trinity said. She had finally stopped sobbing. I don't care. Whatever. Just let him go. Now they all turned to Amy. It was a tied vote, 2-2. Like Ruth Ann, Amy didn't see the point in further punishing the guy. He was caught and everything had a rational explanation. Maybe now Basil would call off the search and let them go home early. We should let him go, she said. We're going to call the cops because of what? He didn't want to sleep in his car. I don't want to sleep in my car. I don't have a car, Carl said. All he did was break some stuff, Amy continued, ignoring him. It's not even our stuff. Orsk can afford to replace it. Look, you got the guy messing with the store. Let's clean up and call it a night. Let him go. Fine, Basil said, irritated. Did I win? Carl asked. You won, Amy said. Yes, Carl shouted. Thank you. He ran to Trinity and wrapped his arms around her, lifting her up in a bear hug. The mood shifted radically. Maybe it was relief after all the tension, but everyone except Basil was suddenly possessed by a spirit of giddy euphoria. There's one tiny problem, Ruth Ann said. Amy already called the police. What? Basil said. Why? I specifically told you not to do that. I panicked, Amy said. Call them back, Carl said. Tell them not to come. That's not how it works, Ruth Ann said, shaking her head. You see it on cops all the time. Once they get the call, they have to show up. I'm sorry, Amy said. Basil cast an annoyed glance in her direction. I'll fix this. Here's what we're going to do. I'll go downstairs and stand outside. I'll wait for the police, and I'll complete the necessary paperwork, tell them it's a false alarm. Once the coast is clear, we'll kick Carl out of here. Seem fair? Whatever you say, Carl said, pumping Basil's hand. I owe you everything. Thank you for being a good guy. Thank you. Basil managed to extract his hand. Everybody stay here until I get back. Again, thank you, Carl repeated. Enough already, Basil said, and he set off toward the front of the store. Carl went around shaking hands with everyone, introducing himself and learning their names. I really appreciate your vote, he told Amy. It's a good thing you've done for me tonight. You're good people. I won't forget it. Thanks, Amy said, embarrassed. An awkward silence ensued. Dining rooms wasn't the best place to kill time, and they all acknowledged the moment with forced smiles. Did anyone bring cards? Ruth Ann joked. This whole night is ruined, Trinity said. A tinny snatch of music played from Amy's pocket. She pulled out her cell phone and answered it. Hello? This is the Brecksville Police Department dispatcher. Did you call 911? Yes, but... And your address is 7414 River Park Drive? It is, but we don't need... How did you get there? The dispatcher asked. It depends which way you're coming, Amy said. Don't you guys know this? You take any exit along Cuyahoga and you get on the feeder road. There's not an exit from the highway. So they have to get on the feeder road, the dispatcher asked. Yes, Amy said. I'll let him know. If we have any more problems, can I reach you at this number? Sure, but my battery's getting low, Amy said. Also, you guys don't need to come because... The dispatcher hung up. The bad news is that the cops are still coming, Amy said. The good news is that they're lost. This is turning into a long night, Ruth Ann said. She turned to Matt. Did you two find any ghosts? Not unless you count Carl, Trinity said. Matt sat down heavily on one of the Scoprelloy chairs. Tonight's been all teasing and no pleasing, he said. Without a money shot, our reel is going to be all build up and no payoff. Carl noticed that Matt was carrying a video camera. Wait, you guys are ghost hunters? Like on A&E? Would everyone stop talking about A&E, Matt said. There are other channels. They want to be on Bravo, Amy explained to Carl. With the Real Housewives, Ruth Ann added helpfully. But ghosts only haunt houses, Carl said. Everyone knows that. This is a building with bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchens, and dining rooms, Matt said. If that's your definition of a house, then Orsk is a house. A home for the everyone. People come here all day just to hang out, eat meatballs, leave their kids in playland, browse, have coffee. You said it yourself. This place was your home. I guess so, Carl said. Huh. Yeah, when you put it like that, this place does get pretty spooky after hours. You could have a seance in here. He laughed to himself, but stopped when he noticed Trinity staring at him. Carl grew uncomfortable as Trinity kept staring. He shifted around a little, but she was boring into him with her eyes. What did I say? he asked. I wasn't making fun of you or nothing, honest. You're a genius, Trinity said. You are a genius. I am? Carl said. Matt, Trinity said, get the gear. We'll have a seance. Viewers love seances, Matt said, warming up to the idea, and they come across great on camera. We'll grab candles from Home Decorations, Trinity said, and use the front for the table, the one with the black finish. It looks like the hood of a hearse. We'll have to hurry before Basil comes back, Matt said. I don't think that's happening anytime soon, Amy said, but you still have one major problem. Isn't the store too bright for a seance? Matt looked down at his wristwatch, and at that moment, nearly all of the store's 680 fill lights clicked off at once, plunging the showroom into a twilight gloom. 1,000 shadows leapt from their hiding places. The furniture suddenly seemed strange, oversized, bigger than it ought to be. Ruth Ann let out a little yelp. Happens automatically, Matt said. Every night at 2 a.m. Perfect timing, Trinity said, grinning at the others. Now, who's in? And that is it for Chapter 7. I'm going to read Chapter 8 after this. I think things are going to get pretty exciting. So join for me for the next one. Thanks. Bye.